There's
Awesome. All right.
Hey guys, let's get started, please.
Do we have any guests today?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
People.
Oh, I didn't raise my hand.
Not
Me
you,
too. Hi there, how are you?
Hi. If you're new to us, can you tell us who you are? And
Oh, sure.
or two about
My
yourself?
name's Stan Stocker. I occasionally hang out with this guy here.
Don't hold against you.
Well, I appreciate that. From the, met him at the Deltaville boat folks. It's my second meeting. I was here last month. And just finished up a Mighty Mike tug and one of those super dirt cheap Amazon Chinese kits with the wood that likes to explode when you try to bend it, but it was kind of fun anyway. And I've done a couple of the other Midwest kits, so I'm creeping my way from raw novice to low intermediate in the model making world.
Welcome to the club.
Thank you.
And we elected a few new members, and if you come to a third meeting, we would be happy if you wanted to join us. But is Steve Mills, Wayne Richards, or Rob Heike here? Yeah, we'll keep carrying these until they show up.
Well, I've carried 83 years, so.
3 years? I think we're gonna have to put a statute of limitations on how long we carried them for. So this is the first meeting for me as skipper and Kevin as first mate, and just wanted to start by expressing some gratitude. I wrote about this in my first captain vlog, but have been incredibly appreciative of the people who have been running the meeting. You know, this is kind of my 15th year on the club, and my work situation just got to the point, you know, I kind of felt like I should be contributing, and finally got in a professional life situation where I could do that. But I particularly wanted to shout out to Gene, who just finished 3 consecutive years. Actually, his 5th total as skipper, which is a lot. In my captain's log, I kind of jokingly said now he would have time to really commit to a complicated and big project, which I was kind of joking about because that's what he always does. But he seems to have taken it to heart because in the months since the last meeting, he's done more work than I do in a year or two. I'm looking forward to when he shows that at Show and Tell. Also wanted to recognize Greg at the ODO meeting. The club gave Dean a plaque to recognize his incredible service. And Greg was both created the idea and did all the work. And we don't have a picture of it. There was one in the log, but it was absolutely beautiful. We'll pull one up later. Awesome. And it launches into the next thing, which is our challenge coins. Awesome. These are the challenge coins that the club is giving out at meetings in recognition of great models. The plaque that Greg designed was designed to hold the many challenge coins that Gene has been getting. If you have not seen this already, and it's worth taking a look at. There's 2 ways for club members to get them. If you want to buy one, we will sell you one for $5. But the best way is to bring your model to one of the shows. We give these to the best models, which are also usually club member models, usually the same thing. And you know, at the ODO, we gave one to Gene's great model and one to Craig's great model. We wanted to recognize John Jones with one of these for his incredible work on the comfort birds. So I guess a third way to get it is to do something about it. I wanted to talk a minute about the Old Dominion Open. This is a once-a-year show that's actually sponsored by Richmond IPMS, which I'm also a member of. And they have always given the club a table. We've had great turnout from club members, both showing off the club and our models, and then also entering our models. You know, we're kind of in a class by ourselves. They get intimidated by big wooden ships that people take 5 years to build and or scratch build. We don't actually compete for their best of show, but it is important that we show our models. And this year, the club got some really good recognition. Gene entered the scratch build category and won best in that category. And then Craig Moore entered his model and won best wooden ship. So really encourage people to bring what they build. You know, we don't turn out models like the plastic guys do, when they turn out 5 or 6 a year. We take years to build ours. So there's less new models to put in competition. But it's not only competition, but it's a way to show the world the work that we do and what our hobby is, and really encourage people to, for next April, bring something you finished either for the club table or if it hasn't been entered before for entry. And our club has always dominated that category, and we'd love to keep us continuing to do that. Along the same line, on April 25th, the Joint Club Show. This is actually up in New London, Connecticut. I've been a couple times. I used to go regularly when my daughter was in school in Connecticut, and I could combine visits, and then it conflicted with a professional meeting I need to go to. I know a couple people are going, but it's a very good time, a lot of good models, a chance to meet a lot of good people, and often some really good talks. But some of the things that the club does outside of those meetings are really fun. And if you haven't had a chance to partake in any of them, it's a good thing to do. Meg, did you want to comment about the website?
Before I move on to that, I have a picture of the challenge coin holder up on the screen now.
There's that. Yes, but it's just a beautiful piece of work, and again, our appreciation to Gene for his many, many years of leadership.
As far as the website goes, I'd like to thank Dave for the kind words in the logbook. I appreciate that. Been working hard on it, especially recently. Can't tell you how many hours I put into it over the last couple of weeks, all for a very minor change. The visible change is pretty small, but without going into the boring details, it'll set me up to do other things. I learned a lot from it. And I never would have gotten that far without ChatGPT. It is amazing how I said, this is what I want to do. And I said, okay, here's the code. And then it says, oh, it's kind of weird. It says, your code could be more efficient here or there, or more understandable if you did this, that. Not my code. Why did you do it that way to begin with then?
What's wrong with you?
But yeah, it was quite amazing.
You trusted me, you fool. Let me
Yeah,
pick you.
exactly. So as long as I have my screen up already, I'll show. That was the concept for the challenge coin holder. So all this work I did was just for the display of the categories at the top. So when you, for the models that I added before we had an online form, and for the ones you've added since I did the form, you pick categories for your model, and this is the way they were displayed. It's a taxonomy, which I think everyone understands what a taxonomy is. If you pick only the very bottom level, it doesn't show the whole tree. So the work I did was to make sure that's all visible. And this is what it looks like now. So if you only picked that it was cruising, it didn't show all the things above it, which is more important for some instances than others. Anyway, this is the way I wanted it to look, and I couldn't do it. Couldn't have gotten it look this way with all that help. Like I said, it'll set me up to do more important things later. End of story. I haven't done anything with books. I guess it's really a webmaster topic, but a lot of books left. I'll get to that over the next one.
Again, huge appreciation to the work that you do, both on the auctions. We've got tons of great folks out the group members from that, and the log of the website, which, you know, having gone on some other website club websites, it really stands out. I'm going to turn things over to Ryland next for two things. One is the purser's report, and I'm going to recognize all the work he's done over the many years, keeping the club in really good financial shape. And then the other thing that, you know, he's been doing over the last 15 years, which is making sure we all look good, really paying attention to our sartorial splendor, and that, you know, we're not only having fun as modelers, but looking good while we're doing it, and the call out for club emblem clothes items.
Yeah, and also name tags.
Yep.
You know, I can get those for you too. But the treasurer's report, we started the month off with $7,181.13. I collected $48 in dues, and then for the book sales for auction, we collected $465, and we also sold $10 in challenge coins. Total receipts were $523. Disbursements for the month were $0, leaving us a balance of $7,704.13. So very healthy. And I am collecting dues this month for those that owe. And a lot of the dues have been paid online, and I appreciate that. We seem to be running, I've gotten, I think, 12 people online and paid, and that's worked out really good.
Dave, can I interject something?
Of course.
Ryland, we spoke about this. We have obviously a bank account. On the bank account, we have several of the members, current and past, who are still listed as
3 of us.
on the account. Perhaps we should update that because Bob Moritz is no longer active, and I'm on the list, also Ryland. So if you want to update that, you can get with Ryland, and maybe that needs to be updated.
Yeah, it seems like that should be, people should have access by virtue of their positions, purser and whether.
Yeah, obviously the
neighbors
purser,
are,
yeah,
and we need to.
so I'll just bring it to your attention.
Yeah.
That might.
Just a little background. Years ago, it was very simple. You went to the bank, you got a signature card, and I'd bring it into the meeting. And I mean, this was before I became treasurer, purser, but and people could sign. Now you have to. Everybody has to get together and meet at the bank. So it's you know, with us being split all over, it's a little more difficult right now to do that. But I think some branches, I think the last time we did it, we made arrangements with the bank to meet at 9 o'clock. The bank branch opened, and we signed, and we were back here for 10 o'clock meetings. Possible that we could do it on Saturday.
We can take that offline to figure out the logistics.
Yeah.
It seems like we need to have the purser, one other active person as a backup, have access to that.
Yeah. I have heard there are other clubs that have got 88-year-old treasurers, and he's the only one that can sign the checks. Can you imagine the nightmare if something happened to him?
Well, that's why I want to spread it around.
Yes, I always want to have, I believe in at least 3, but they have to be officers.
Forget it, Kevin.
The other business item that I almost forgot, any comments or updates to the minutes?
Ryland, yeah, Tom Ruggiero here. I'm the treasurer for Shipmouth Society in New Jersey. What Ryland's talking about, we went to that process probably about 6 or 7 years ago, where we just made the secretary treasurer a non-elected position that served at the discretion of the president of the club. And the reason we did that is specifically for the things Ryland has stated, that it's a real chore to make any changes whatsoever to your checking account, either going to a new bank or even with staying with the existing bank. The second thing that Ryland points out is, he was talking about 80-year-old treasurers. I could tell you, not our club, but one club had two people who could sign the checks. One was 89 and one was 93. So now in the state of New Jersey, what we do is we have, we're a 501(c), and what we did is when we incorporated in New Jersey, we had to come up with at least 3 trustees. Okay, and any one of the 3 trustees could sign the checks. So that's one way to do it, and we made sure that there was some delta in the ages of the 3 trustees. But that's up to you. It may involve a bylaws change, but I'm just telling you what we've done, in the state, for our club. And I could tell you another club had the club with the 2 really experienced signatures for the checks. They had to make they had to make a similar change. So
Thanks, Tom. The officers will take this offline and come up with something that works for the club and just bring it back. Thank you. The other housekeeping item that I forgot is the minutes were in the logbook. Any corrections? Anyone object to approval of the minutes? So we will disapprove. Last thing I just wanted to talk about was, coming in as new officers, we do not have any plans for radical change or anything. I think people are incredibly happy with the meetings and the activities, but we did throw out, it's also a time to ask people if there's anything new that they want to do or differences. And I threw that out in the logbook when I wrote my thing, and we actually got some responses. And I think a couple of them are pretty good ideas, and I'm going to run some of them. We haven't had a big amount of time to talk about them, but wanted to throw them out just as an encouragement for more people to bring their ideas forward. One of them was kind of swapping the order of the meeting so that we could do one of them was keep the business meeting part of the meeting really, really short. And I promise you, we will never go over 4 to 5 hours as part of the meeting. No, I think that was good advice, and we will try to do a lot of the administrative stuff in the background and just report back on that. The second thing was to, the presentations are a giant part of these meetings, and we're incredibly appreciative of the amount of work that people put in. And in the past, we've done them at the end, and a lot of times they've been rushed to finish. And what we've thought about doing is moving the presentation to right after the business meeting. And then the show and tell can naturally expand, contract to fill the time allowed. And that way, and I think that we're going to try it and see how it works. But I think that may be a way that brings a little bit better balance. The next thing is Ron Lewis spent, I don't know how long, as the person who coordinated the meetings. That's shifting to Kevin. Kevin, did you want to say a word about that?
Yeah, a little bit. I know some of you guys are probably not very comfortable getting up in front of a group and talking about stuff. But one of the things I'd like to ask and get some feedback on is if you guys have a subject or topic that you would like to see in a presentation, get with me, and I can probably, put together a presentation next month, a couple of months. Or again, if there's something that you've put together in the past and would like to repeat that, again, please get with me and we'll make arrangements to get that on the schedule for the presentations. I know there's, a few people that have joined in the last year or so that haven't seen a lot of the presentations, so please, if you've got a topic, please get with me. We'll see what we can do to get those topics brought up. I think another thing that Dave and I had talked about as part of some of that is having like a question and answer session on a certain aspect of modeling. Incorporate later on. So kind of just think about those and get back with us with some of the ideas.
Q&A thing was actually something that Mike Pelham emailed about in response to the request for new ideas. And I think that's something that would be really easy to implement. I think we get a lot of good questions and answers as part of the show and tell. I think people are often working on things on their projects that being able to throw out the question to the entire membership might be really, really helpful to them. So we will work to figure out exactly what that looks like and give that a try as well. So, and if people have ideas for new things they want to try, or it would be good, whether it's presentation topic or new activity, just bring it forward.
Was something else I'd like to kind of bring up on kind of a little bit different note. Recently learned that John Cork is no longer going to be able to serve in the model maker stand on Fridays. So if any of you are interested in coming in and working in the model maker stand on Fridays, please get with John Cheever and myself, and you can coordinate getting with Beth Whitten to and you come in and volunteer in the model maker stand. It's a lot of fun. I've been doing it since June, since I retired. Really neat getting a chance to meet all the people that come to the museum and get a chance to work on a model and show it off while the people come. Any of you are interested in that, please get with us.
Before we wrap up the business meeting, any new items from members?
I guess I'll talk myself. Dave Baker came in here twice this morning. Wanted to know if anybody had seen his 3-foot-long German paper model of the German warship. Because he brought it to the taco stand last Saturday and it's disappeared. And if you've seen it, let him know.
Thank you. Right.
Small piece of business. I think it's been discussed recently that the club officers should have some discretion about spending money on behalf of the club. But when I spent the money to have the engraving done on that plaque, I wasn't technically an officer at the time. I haven't submitted that yet. Do I ask for a vote? It's $50.
Ryland, can we just approve that, or do we need to?
I mean, I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
You don't.
I don't think anybody would be opposed to it.
Well, just a minute.
So he's volunteered to pay half.
Yeah. No, we are incredibly grateful to the work that you put into that, and it was well worth the money.
And typically, projects like that, where there's an expense, what we've done in the past is just giving the invoice to the person.
I wasn't sure. It's not like I could have brought it up ahead of time.
Right.
It's supposed to be on the down low.
Right.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'll just say this, sometimes I know I have to spend money for something that's related to the club or beneficial to the club. I will email the bridge and ask for permission.
Yeah. And I think for small expenses, we should continue to do that and then just report back to the club about the expenditure when we do the purchase report.
I did put some money into the wood that I'm not asking for reimbursement for. It's just the engraving part.
And the biggest thing on that was that must have taken time.
Not as much as you might think, but more than I thought.
Which is probably true of most of our projects.
What? It was the easy job?
No, it wasn't.
If there are no other business items, why don't we segue into the presentation. Oh, sorry, Kaylin, another business item.
I would also like to thank Bill Grass. If you've ever seen him at the ODO, I would like to thank him for giving us some of his models to work on. Like, for example, the HRSMS model that he gave me to work on. If you remember him at the ODO.
You had two beautiful models there.
Like Dave said, he had two really nice models, and only one was eligible for voting.
So thank you to him.
He didn't join us today, did he? Online?
While you were looking for that, my understanding is the presentation is going to be about 30 minutes. So what I would do is plan the break after that and before we go into show and tell.
Okay.